today. So hello, my name is Lena Moxon. You find me here in Australia. I actually moved out of the city about 7 years ago. I was city girl, party girl, all of the things for most of my life, particularly through my 20s. I did my 20s so good that it was bad. And now in my 30s, I live a very different, almost polar opposite existence. I've moved to a regional town and I have made very conscious choices about the way my life feels and the way that it feels to be me, rather than having everything just be reflective of my desire to fit in to a community, to a system, to a society that was never designed for my well-being to begin with. And so I come to you today with what is called somatic activated healing. This has become a needed and necessary I don't like to call it self-care tool because it's far deeper than that for me. It is a needed and necessary transmission point that allows me to connect to self in a really deep, potent, connected way, and also opens me up to the things that I had truly longed for, such as my own faith, my own inner knowing, my own intuition, my own belief, all of the things that we look to in the moments where we decide we want something different, new, other for ourselves, and we need some sort of affirmation or validation or safety to let us know that it's safe for us to go out on this new edge. And so somatic activated healing, put very simply, is a beautiful, modern, life-affirming combination of rhythmic breathwork, dynamic meditation, somatic movement, and positive affirmation. None of this is new. These are like ancient practices. So nothing that I'm bringing to you today is going to be something that you're like, wow, I've never seen that before. But the combination of it and the way that I'm actually going to position you to be the highest authority of your experience may very well be new for you today. Why does this matter? For something called the growth project, it matters for many reasons, but the two that I want to highlight today. Somatic activated healing offers us an opportunity to work with somatic experiencing to release stored energy and emotion within the body. So what we're ultimately doing is making ourselves available to the innate healing capacity that the body has through leveraging the power of breath, of movement, of meditation, and of our chosen words, to allow us to release all of the energies and emotion and sensation that we have accumulated unconsciously or consciously through our experiencing of life up until this point. Somatic activated healing is a healing modality that offers you an opportunity to go kind of like body up rather than head down. And so it offers a beautiful counter support to traditional talk therapy, where we're kind of just bringing a lot of awareness to our patterns, our behaviors, our history. And for a lot of people, we get to the point that like we've done the work. We've done it. And if you're here in this group, I know that you are a person who's done the work. You've read the books, you've listened to the podcast, you've sat in the workshops, you've written the things, you've done all of the things. And for the most part, you do have a pretty deep understanding of who you are and why you are the way that you are. But we get to this kind of like point within our journey and we're like, but what do I do with all of this information? What do I do with this awareness? What do I do with this understanding? And why doesn't it feel possible for me to experience something other than what I already know to be true about myself? This is where somatic activated healing meets you beautifully and powerfully. So we use this to be able to work with the body to release energy and emotion in a way that is not going to point us back to our wounding, to our trauma. We're not trying to re-trigger ourselves by having you address the problems, the things that have hurt and harmed you, your trauma. And at the same time, I'm not trying to make you bypass that. It's not about saying, forget that. It's just giving you an opportunity to work with your body in the moment that you are in without having to go back and reactivate the story or be with the memory of the things that actually weigh you down and stop you from being able to be in potential and possibility. So there's that aspect to it. It's deeply supportive. If you are a person who is just stuck in the energy and the emotion of your past, somatic activated healing very much will support you in working just to release that. And the second part that I think is important to bring forward to you today, the stuff that I really love to support people in, is in understanding what I'm going to ask you today is to be radically embodied in the moment that you are in. To go with me on this journey where you move your body and you use your breath and you make sound. And what you're activating is an opportunity to get really curious about who you are in this moment, to meet yourself as new, to suspend the desire that you have to play within your comfort zone. I'm literally going to extend my hands to you today and say, come with me. And I'm going to take you out of your comfort zone, closer to overwhelm, so that you are asking yourself for more, for that expansiveness to appear, for you to be on the new edge of self. If you're in an experience called the growth project, what you are declaring and deciding by default is that you are not going to stay the same as you have been. Not because it's wrong, not because we're shaming it, not because we're guilting it, but because you have an awareness that there is more. So today, I just want you to fuck around with the potential and possibility of finding out what happens when you dare to get weird as fuck. To just let yourself do the things. To notice every time your body kind of tenses back up when I ask you to follow a movement or to do a breath, and to gently remind yourself, this is the point, my love. This is the point, my love. We're seeing what's possible beyond what's comfortable. And then at the end, what I hope happens for you is that you have this smile on your face as you reflect, like, wow, that just got really weird within myself. I've never seen myself move that way before. I've never seen myself make that sound. I've never seen myself let breath come through like that. Even for me, every time I do the practice, I push myself to move in a way, to shake in a way, to make noise in a way that I've never witnessed before. And that is where our power is. Because so much of what we think is possible for us, so much of our capacity to really believe that the goals that we set for ourselves are going to be achievable and sustainable by us, through us, depends on our willingness to know that we actually don't know all of who we are to be. The limitations that you place on yourself, the hesitation that you have, the fear that you experience is only indicative of the fact that there's a part of you that thinks you know what you are capable of. If you just give yourself this life-affirming, uplifting, potentially awkward experience of moving in a new way, just being different, you get to sit back and reflect, maybe I actually don't know myself as well as I think I do. And rather than that being a really like concerning, scary thing, it's not a like, oh, well, who am I? It's the like, wow, I actually don't know who I am. And because I don't know who I am, can I open myself up to more potential and possibility beyond what I think is possible in the here and now? And that, my friends, becomes alchemy for growth. That's the stuff that matters. You can read about it, you can write about it, you can set intentions for it until you witness your body as the transmission point for potential and possibility, because you're willing to burn up all of the stagnant, sticky, crunchy, resistant energy that is within you. And then get to this place, and I promise you, if you go with me, if you do this and we move the body and we breathe and we make all of the sounds and we say the affirmations, at some point it will stop feeling awkward and it will just start feeling expansive. Yeah, curiosity of self, that's it. That curiosity is the superpower. That curiosity activates the devotion that we have to being understanding of self. My feeling is we have it backwards. We think we have to understand ourselves to know what we should do in this life. I take a very different approach. I allow myself to be inspired into the doing because I am in devotion to the understanding of self. And when you can feel into this experience today of the not knowing, of the mystery of self, of the being in an experience where you're like, wow, I did not know what was going to happen. And you actually feel really just like lit up by that, expanded by that, turned on by your own kind of weirdness. You realize I don't have to understand myself before I take action. It's through the taking action that I'm going to witness myself in new ways, and I'm going to develop an understanding through the devotion I maintain to the understanding of self. All right, enough talking. I've got limited time with you. I didn't want to turn this into a whole Dharma talk, but I go there. I get very passionate about how important it is for us to come back to our bodies, to come back to our own introspective awareness and experiencing, and have new relationship with sensation in the body, have new relationship with emotion in the body, to start relating to ourselves as innately wise, to have a relationship with our own emotions, that we stretch our capacity and our resilience to be with certain emotions so that we can learn to listen to what they are trying to tell us, rather than spend our lives trying to numb ourselves out or distract ourselves from certain emotions that we just don't yet have capacity to hold. All right. So today, the session that I have brought forward to you is titled Passion for Purpose. So we don't want to just like have you activated because it's going to feel good to be activated. I have a sense that in this group, we want to activate this kind of embodied passion within you, because you all have things to bring forward into this world that really matter. That you're trying to activate yourself so that you can be in a greater understanding of what it is you're being asked to transmute and offer and deliver. Working with me, there has to be an altruistic intention embedded in all of this. This isn't just so that we feel good and give ourselves a high five at the end of it. This is so that we might be activated to be all of who we are supposed to be, so that we can be of service, whether that's to our family, our community, or the whole fucking world. Bless you. Live the full fantasy, whoever you're supposed to be. All right, my loves. See some smiles, I see some apprehension. Let your pet know to be careful, because you're going to be moving in a moment. Don't step on the cat, that's not going to go well. You will need, if you're going to participate with me today, my loves, just like a small area where you will be able to just move comfortably, at least have your arms